Students, how are you all? Welcome to science class of standard 10th. Today we are going to begin chapter number 8, which is the chapter of biology part, and the name of our chapter is how do organisms reproduce. First we will see some important notes regarding this chapter. Okay, as we are going to talk about reproduction. Okay, so first, as we are talking about reproduce, first we are going to see about reproduction. As we have already heard this word in our previous classes, so the definition of reproduction is a process by which an organism produces new organism of its own kind is known as reproduction. Reproduction involves creation of DNA copy. Variation formed during reproduction are the basis for evolution. Variation is useful for the survival of species over time. As we all know, we are the young ones of which reproduced by our parents. So it is a gradual process which keeps on continuing, and because of this continuous process there is the result in the evolution. Evolution means the species which we are now, that is human species or Homo sapiens species, which came from the different species. So this evolution takes place continuously because of reproduction, and this evolution takes place in the reproduction phase due to variation. Variation in the sense that we are variants of our parents, that we are looking similar to our parents but we are not same. Okay, so we have some of the features same to our parents or same with our siblings, but we are not the exact copy of our parents. So that is known as variation, which comes by reproduction. And one more question which comes in the introduction part in the textbook is that why reproduction is necessary. If the process of the reproduction is stopped for within human species, then it is not necessary that humans will not survive if they do not reproduce. Unlike the other process like respiration, excretion, it is not a survival process. But if any species stop reproduction, then that species will go on extinct. For example, today we don't have a dinosaur species on the earth because that species is already extinct. So this is the reason that reproduction is very vital process for in the human life. Not only in the human life but for all the creatures which are living. Now, reproduction has two types: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. What is the difference between asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction? Asexual reproduction, when a single parent is involved in the formation of new generation without the fusion of gametes, is called asexual reproduction. Means in that only single gamete takes place, and without the fusion, means within the single gamete the reproduction of a new young one takes place, that is known as asexual reproduction. Types of asexual reproduction are fission, budding, spore formation, regeneration, fragmentation, and vegetative propagation. First we will see about fission. Fission is an asexual reproduction that is most common in unicellular organism. Students, unicellular organism means the organism which are having single celled. When the fission results in two daughter cells, it is binary fission. Okay, as you can see in the figure in the amoeba, from a single amoeba, or you can tell from a parent amoeba, the elongation of the nucleus takes place and the division of nucleus takes place in the cytoplasm, and two different daughter cells are produced, that is known as fission process. Second is budding. Budding is a type of asexual reproduction in which a small cyst-like structure is formed on the parent body, which gives rise to a new individual. As you can see, in the parent hydra plant, a small cyst has been come out at the lower part of the hydra, and it grows into a different individual. And after at the time of maturity, it gets separate from the parent plant, and it forms and it reacts as an individual hydra plant. So bud remain attached to the parent or may separate and becomes a new individual. Now, regeneration and fragmentation. Regeneration is the process of growing back the lost organ or body part by the organism. Example, lizard. Okay, so regeneration is the growing back of the lost part of the body. Here example is given of lizard, that if a lizard loses its tail, it has that capacity to again regenerate its own new tail. That is known as regeneration, means generate again. Fragmentation. Fragmentation is the process by which an organism gets fragmented into smaller pieces and each piece grow into a whole new organism. Means if a complete plant is there, as you can see in the figure, a complete plant, when it splits into two parts, in the second diagram, you can see in the third diagram that both the separated parts will behave as an individual parent plant, and both will grow into different individual plant. That is known as fragmentation, and each behaves as a new organism. Next is spore formation. Organisms such as fungi make spores that can grow into complete new individual when dispersed from their fruiting body. It means that you can see the plant in that the spores which are coming out, from that spores it forms a sporangia. That sporangia will again develop into a new plant by its reproduction. The last is vegetative propagation. This is a type of asexual reproduction seen in plants. The vegetative part of the plant, like leaves, stem, roots, gives rise to a new plant. Vegetative reproduction can be artificial or natural. Vegetative reproduction happens through leaves, stem, bulbs, onion, etc. Artificial methods include cutting, grafting, layering, and plant tissue culture. So here we complete everything about asexual reproduction. Now we are going to start a new topic, that is sexual reproduction. So sexual reproduction is completely opposite to asexual reproduction. In case of sexual reproduction, a mode of reproduction in which both sexes, male and female, are involved to produce new generation is known as sexual reproduction. It means that for sexual reproduction, both the male and the female gametes are required. It means we are the young ones which are grown up due to sexual reproduction. And in case of sexual reproduction, the completely new DNA which is formed from the parental DNA. And this is the reason that we have the DNA of our parents combined as of mother and father. Germ cells have half the number of chromosomes and half the amount of DNA due to meiosis. When both male and female gamete fuse, there is re-establishment of the number of chromosomes and the DNA content in the new generation. Okay, during the mating process, the DNA gets combined, and the new young one which is born, which have the combined DNA of both male and female, and has both the number of chromosomes from father and mother. This may be similar to their parents or may be combined to some extent. So, this is the reason that we have the features of our parents, some features of the mother, and also some features of a father. So this is the reason that why we look at much extent to our parents, but we are not exactly same to our parents, but most of the features we have from our parents because of the DNA and chromosomes. Sexual reproduction in flowering a plant. Flower is the sexual reproductive organ of the flowering plants. The stamen is the male reproductive part and carpel is the female reproductive part in flower. As you can see in the figure, this figure is very important which you have to learn how to draw for the exam. So how carpel and stamen behave. Pollen grains are produced within the anther of stamen. Male gametes are produced within the pollen grain. Female gametes are produced within the ovule of ovary of carpel. Fertilized ovule is transformed into seed while fertilized ovary forms a fruit. The seed germinates to produce a new plant. Pollination. The process of transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of a flower is known as pollination. It is required for fertilization. Pollination has two types, self-pollination and cross-pollination. In self-pollination, transfer of pollen grains takes place from anthers to stigma of same flower or anthers to the stigma of the same plant. In cross-pollination, the pollens are transformed from anthers to stigma of another flower. Many pollinating agents play their roles in cross-pollination. Example, wind, water, insect, bats, etc. So students, for the sexual reproduction in humans, we'll be looking in next part, and also we will see in a practical form how this sexual reproduction of flowering in a plant takes place in our next class. Up to that, you have to complete your notes and your question answers from the PDF, and we will have a quick summary of what we have done in today's class. Today's class, we have seen the definition of reproduction and why the need of reproduction is necessary. Then we have seen its part, that is asexual and sexual reproduction. In case of asexual reproduction, we have seen that it takes place from a single parent, and again asexual reproduction is divided into various types, and we have seen all the 6 types of the asexual reproduction, that is fusion, budding, regeneration, fragmentation, spore formation, and vegetative propagation. Then we have seen about sexual reproduction and the definition of sexual reproduction, that in case of sexual reproduction, both male and female gametes are involved for the sexual reproduction. Then we have seen about sexual reproduction in flowering a plant, and we will again see about it in our next video. Thank you for listening.